pay attention to any of the, I guess, the chatter from national talking heads about maybe criticizing the move to start you at all?
No. Yeah, not to be rude or disrespectful in any way. I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. I care about the opinions of those closest to me, my friends, my family, my teammates, my coaches. And you get to this level, and you have to have tunnel vision and do your thing.
You and Drew are tight. What was he like for you this week going into this first start?
Man, Drew's the best. If I'm being honest, I didn't fully understand what it took to be a starter in the NFL until I got here, and I had the opportunity to learn from Drew. And man, Drew was with me every step of the way this week. As we watched film, he was constantly asking me what I needed and how he could be helpful. And so he was so critical. He was such a comfort, for me to have around. And, I look up to him so much. He's become one of my best friends.
Taysom Hill in his first start had 23 passes. Prior to that, including postseason, he had 20 career throws. He more than doubled his career passing attempts in one afternoon, and he had a couple of touchdowns rushing. He had 4 rushing touchdowns in his entire career coming into the game. Look, it was a little sputtery at first.
That's right. It was choppy.
There was the throw that reminded me of the old Sandlot kickoff. When you play Sandlot football, you don't actually kick off. You just throw the ball high and deep, right? That's what it looked like. It worked. It was caught, and then it looked like it was fumbled, but down by contact was the accurate ruling. But, Taysom Hill was efficient, 18 for 23. He was Taysom Hill when it was time to run the ball, scores a touchdown on 4th and goal. And I think so far, and I asked him after the game, talked to him for a good 6-7 minutes, what grade would you give yourself? And he hemmed and hawed, and I need to look at the film. And then he kept going. And if you just let him keep going, they'll eventually come to the point where he wanted to be. B or a B plus is the grade that he gave himself for the game. What grade would you give him?
I think that's fair. I think that it really is. I mean, if you're going to be realistic about the situation, right, Mike? And then this is a guy that, he hasn't played quarterback. He was just, very respectful and open and honest with just that little clip he showed right there. Just realizing, whoa, I just didn't realize when you're the starter what it takes to prepare the whole week and be the guy. And everybody's always looking to you and asking questions. And, hey, what about this play? Hey, you got this and got that. I'm sure that was exhausting, let alone I heard Sean Payton in the post-game press conference. Yeah, early on he was a little nervous. He said some plays wrong. We flipped a formation. I've been there. That's exactly. It doesn't matter how many times you practice that. All of a sudden you get in the intensity of the game, and it's your first, start, and you're looking at the other team, and you're thinking about what you got to do, and you get in the huddle, and even though you've said a play 50 times during the week, you can't spit it out the right way when you need to, and all of a sudden you do stupid stuff like that. It was very choppy, like you said early on. But the defense played awesome. He really only made one bad mistake that ended up being a dropped interception down there in the red area. And they slowly but surely found the formula in which how they wanted to play and how to use him. And I think overall he really managed the game the right way. He made the run game more effective. And he made some nice plays on his own, let alone some nice plays in rhythm within the offense too.
When I talked to him, it was clear it bothered him that he fumbled the ball late. They were up 24-9. Yeah. But when you are suffocating a team and they have a dangerous offense if they can ever wake it up, and to the credit of the Saints defense, they weren't able to wake it up with the Falcons offense on Sunday. But that really bothered him. That's why he downgraded himself to a B or a B plus. And the other thing he needs to do, and he explained this to me, he just wants more tempo. He wants that Saints offense in and out of the huddle, calling the plays, getting the play calls right, moving things quickly, because the tempo is what can keep the defense on its heels. And they're even more on their heels when you don't know what Taysom Hill is going to do with it. Because the one thing Drew Brees never was going to be, ever, was a threat to run the ball. Now you've got this guy who can do either thing. You have to be ready for either thing. You never know what he's going to do. And he's not going to get worse with more reps. He's only going to get better with more reps. The challenge comes, and we may not see enough games this year to get to the point where defenses can devise a better way to try to stop him. But, defenses have seen this guy. It's not like he's some new thing. He's been around for a few years. They've been using him periodically. Defenses at least have had a crack at trying to figure out what to do when Taysom Hill's on the field and he has the ball in his hands. And I think that challenge is only going to become more and more significant. It was funny last week because remember we were saying, and we kept showing the graphic of the depth chart, like everything's pointing to Taysom early in the week.
You called it, man.
Pointed to Taysom Hill.
You called it.
And then everyone's like, no, it's going to be Jameis Winston. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. It's going to be Jameis Winston. I'm like, well, maybe it is going to be Jameis Winston. And then by the end of the week, it becomes Taysom Hill. And Hill told me he had a pretty good idea Monday night it was going to be him. I said, are you surprised that you guys kept it under wraps for so long? He said, no, not with Sean Payton around. And that's what he did. He managed to get those guys to zip it tight all week long. And then he trolled Roddy White. Roddy White tweeted this on Saturday. Saints about to whip us, trying with Taysom Hill quarterback. We about to snack them. That was immediately retweeted by Sean Payton, probably from the locker room while they were dancing after the victory over the Atlanta Falcons, hopefully with their masks on this time. But Payton's a genius.
He is.
Payton's a genius.
That's right.
Payton's a genius.
Yes.
Because let me tell you, even on Friday after it came out that Hill was going to be the starter, there was still a sense he was going to use both guys. And for all we know, he was ready to put Jameis Winston in if he needed to. He just ultimately didn't need to. And Taysom Hill proved it. And, the report yesterday, and this makes sense, I agree with it, Ian Rappaport said that one of the big factors was Sean Payton wants to see what Taysom Hill can do as the quarterback, and we all do. And I guess he had some nerves early in the week, and I think that act of making it a build-up, of making it a bigger deal, like you take a regular season game and you give it a playoff feel. And the wisdom of that is simple. This guy may be playing in playoff games.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and throw him into it. Let's make it as big of a game. Otherwise, if Saints-Falcons week 11, who the hell cares? Let's make it into a big game. Let's see how he does when the stakes are high, because that's going to prepare him if we do need him down the stretch in a big game, or next year if he's the starter and the big games come around and the playoffs game. It's another level of the genius of Sean Payton.
Definitely.
To turn this into something bigger than it was, just to help Taysom Hill better prepare himself for the future.
Yeah, no, I think, it helps everybody in their organization prepare for the future. I mean, to what you're saying. I wasn't sure. I thought they'd start Jameis. He'd just be scared to play Taysom Hill, who hasn't played quarterback in the NFL, but obviously he had seen enough to know, okay, I think he's ready enough. And, let's see what he's got. I mean, we've heard all, the rumors about Sean Payton gushing about Taysom Hill and everything like that. And I think where it's really cool, too, you said it. One, the team is good, right? There's a lot of positive things. Sean Payton's a genius. He's definitely one of the greatest offensive minds in the history of the sport. That's what he'll go down as. And here, again, you see the versatility. Really the one thing that jumped out to me that where they started to settle in that I noticed, and really producer Matt Casey was the one that pointed it out as we were going along, they got into basically every time he dropped back was a little token play action pass. Hey, let's protect the line. Let's let him get some depth off a play action pass so he can separate between him and the offensive line. That gives him the ability to run if he has to. But now we've run play action pass. We've sucked the linebackers up. And that's where we saw Michael Thomas get involved in the game, to where we haven't really seen that involvement from him all year. Where, Taysom Hill, he's a little more aggressive, wanting to push the ball down the field and do those things. And plus, because of his running ability, you get defenses that more are, we have to worry about stopping the run. And therefore, the 15 and 20-yard completions right behind the linebackers at that second level and all those things start to become more open and more effective. And that's where we really saw, I think, the change in the game. I mean, you see they have 3 rushers for right around 50 yards. He took care of the football. Michael Thomas got 100 yards receiving. And when he didn't like what he saw out of those play action passes, he took off and ran. And damn, that's a good combo when you got, that type of offense and that defense, who we haven't even talked about, who whooped some butt yesterday. They could play with anybody with that type of formula.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.